voice.
I mean, you already got a loud booming voice, man, so you're not doing bad already. Yeah. I mean, so just gather around, come get closer. Come get closer. Is it recording? Of course I'm recording. Always be recording, Justin.
Is this thing on?
It's episode 1. A Punch the Clock. Welcome to the podcast, everybody. I'm your host, Marshall. I'm joined with my co-host, Justin.
Hey, y'all. How you doing?
And we have our first guest, Andrew. So,
hello. Thank you.
Thanks for being on the show, Andrew. We appreciate it. So you're one of our coworkers.
Yep. Thanks for inviting me.
You're welcome. So just to give everybody a little rundown of what the show is, essentially, it's kind of like if you're at the water cooler at work. Maybe. We don't know. We're only on episode 1. Give us a break.
And really, first, we should mention that we're recording very, very low tech right now. So we're creating this pilot to even see if we can get off the ground. So it's always a work in progress.
Yeah, so episode 1's going to probably suck.
Mention we are back on mask restrictions now.
Yeah, we're back. So the whole reason we should give you all the lore of why this show is even a thing, we're brought back to the office to work because, COVID was a done deal. And as soon as I got back in the office and I saw Justin, you remember the first thing I said to you. I didn't even say hello.
Marshall walks up and says, "We're going to start a podcast."
Just strap. Like, you want to start a podcast? I don't say hi. I don't say anything.
No greeting. No, how have you been for the last 15 months? Do you want to start a podcast? And I said, yeah. And then 4 days later, after we talked about it daily for those first couple days, I realized that I'm like, you know what? Was he joking? Or was he being serious? And then we got so deep into this of going through ideas and how we were going to do this that it actually became a real thing. And really, that was only about 4 weeks ago that this all was planted in the ground, and now it's sprouted.
Now, here's the real funny thing, dear listener. I was 100% joking, and he took me seriously. And I was like, I am in too deep. I have to run with this joke now. And then, as he said, it took us a month to get here, and that was mostly because we couldn't find a name that wasn't already taken. So Punch the Clock was the first one we could find, and we just jumped on it. So yeah, now we're here. Now we have a guest. We have no idea what the show's about, so I guess episode 1, what's our show going to be about?
So we're still working that out, but at least we have a topic. At least we have a topic
we have
today.
Topics, but I had an idea of what we should always ask all our guests. And that's this, Andrew. On a scale of 1 to 7, how good of coworkers are we and Justin? Rate us, please. Honestly, don't. How good of a coworker are we?
Oh, okay. Oh, definitely 7s.
7? Total 7? That's high praise.
That's pretty high. Man.
First episode.
We got room for improvement.
Nah, 7. It's out of 7, man.
Oh, is that a 7?
Yeah, it's out of 7.
Oh,
1 out of 7. We don't do a 10 scale here, man.
Okay.
1 to 7.
Hey.
Or would an 8 be equivalent to turn it up to 11?
No, an 8 would have been 11 in our book.
Well, I'm so glad you asked. What do we think about you? 1 to 7.
Hey, dude, we're interviewing him, not the other way around. we don't have to ask him.
Yeah, I just got interviewed last week. It was bad enough. It was horrible. That was a crash and burn. I thought, like, ugh.
Oh, that's right. You had an interview and you did well, didn't you?
Apparently, I got the job.
You got the job. Good job, man.
I was sitting there like, as I kind of feared, totally unprepared. Oh, especially since I applied? Yeah, I guess Tuesday. Yeah, applied Tuesday, late Tuesday afternoon. I guess the job posting was the Thursday before, and I was thinking about what to do with my resume stuff over the weekend, but of course with kids and everything, and then preparing for going out of town for my grandmother-in-law's 100th birthday.
100
years old.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Wow.
Dude.
Yeah, she's still kicking like a little Spitfire. It's crazy.
Oh my God.
100.
Jesus.
But 1921.
Yeah. That was a pretty crazy experience and stuff. I'm sure we could save for at least segue later in the show. But
so she's lived through malaria and
she's
depression,
lived through another
AIDS
pandemic.
epidemic, and the pandemic. and all of that.
Dude, she would have been alive for like over a third of American history.
Yep.
That's like insane to think about, you know?
Wow.
Yeah, especially in regards to technology and everything. I'm sure just saying from like, hey, so start with actual cars and everything up to the industrial revolution, all the way up to
Oh my god, she would have been, like new cars all the way up until like Teslas. And stuff.
yeah,
That must be like mind blowing for her.
yeah.
Man. And now we have billionaires going to space. That's
Yeah.
nuts.
So I totally derailed this whole thing.
Yeah.
So you applied.
Yeah, so I was sitting
Right.
there, so yeah, one thing, if I become a frequent guest member on the show, you'll notice I'll probably go on random tangents and everything like that, but that's
good. That's
good old
good
ADD for you, but hey,
I'm pretty sure this whole show was born from ADD, so
yeah.
it's okay.
But yeah, so I was hoping to prepare and everything because I figured nowadays, everyone's trying to do, the behavioral questions interview, which as opposed to, back when we were much younger, 20 some odd years ago. It's like, oh, hey, you want this job? Okay, yeah, sure. Random questions? Yep. Now it's like, oh, hey, remember a time you did this? And I'm like, no. Can you think of time? Sure. And sometimes I was just sitting there, just staring right at me. And of course, it didn't help that originally I thought it was going to be just two of the assistant managers. Like, okay, it's just going to be you and this person. I'm like, okay. So I went in there, everything. But then on the day of, I went in, and then it's like, oh, hey, so let's go get it. There's the VP of the department. And I was like, oh, God.
Oh, no.
All right.
Not
And it's like,
prepared
oh,
for this.
hey. And then someone just randomly chimed in, like, hey, are you doing interviews now? And the rest of the people were like, yeah, sure. You're like, you want to come on? I'm like, okay. I'm like, where the heck is all this coming from? Like, actually, from two people. So, like, now they got, like, the VP of the department and just some random person coming on just, okay, hey, and there's bombarding questions. So, what do you think of this? Like, I like numbers. Money's cool.
I can do a number for you. Do you like 13? I like 13.
Can I use an abacus?
Yeah, really old school. Yeah. Calculus only in this company, or do we use Greco? We do use Arabic numbers, right?
Yeah, Phoenician, sometimes,
Sometimes.
Hammurabi's
Phoenician.
little tablet, Sanskrit. Hammer and chisel.
Well, I know for an interview though, at least when you work with the company though, you know people. But when you go to like an interview at like a different company and you're sitting there, you're like, is this person gonna like me? What's their sense of humor?
Mm-hmm.
Should I even do humor? Because some people it's like, oh, I gotta show some humor.
Yeah.
You kind of pick up on that right away. Or some people it's like dead face serious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You better not say anything other than yes.
Yeah, thankfully at least I had that going, and I had somewhat of a rapport with. At least I know of her, talking with her. But yeah, pretty much when it came to like the position, when it came to actually work stuff, it was a little intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
But
basically, you nailed it, right?
Yeah, apparently you nailed it.
nailed
after
it.
numerous times, I just sat there, just like blank staring, but like brain just like grind to a halt.
Don't you just hate that though?
Yeah.
It's like I swear to you, I'm not stupid.
Yeah.
I'm just panicking right now.
Yeah, I'm in fight or flight mode right now, and of course, in the middle of that, it's just like, hey, I'm pausing. And of course, I'm trapped in the far back corner, and they're crowded around me. Like, okay, I can't get up and just run straight out the door. Like, hey, I need to use the bathroom. Zippity-doo-dah, bye-bye.
You just get into the interview, see everybody, and then you're like, you know what? I'm so sorry for wasting everybody's time. You come here. I'm going to leave now.
Especially one of them where I was just sitting there talking to one lady. She just had this dead look on her face. She's like, okay, smile and nod. Like, okay, yes, I definitely get the impression that you have no clue what I'm talking about. Which is interesting in itself that, yeah, regardless of what you may think, none of the other departments have any clue what you're doing. So, and of course, knowing me like after the fact, like, oh, there's all these things I could have said, like especially with one of our vendors, like whatever, all the fuel surcharge stuff, all the new stuff we have to do with that, just how complicated to do everything. That would easily help. Say, oh, hey, do you have a difficult time dealing with such and such? And
Yeah.
Yep, that would have easily helped. But hey,
Well,
whatever.
I think
whatever
it is
did
kind of
work.
interesting when you work in a company that you always never really fully know what the other departments
Yeah.
are doing.
And that's the hardest thing to do, I think, is, when you're trying, like, even for me, like when I'm trying to translate something and explain something,
Yeah.
it's easy to try and put it in, in that person's terms, right? Like, so that they best understand it. But sometimes it's really hard if you really don't know, what their functions are and what they do. So, you're kind of explaining it, and you can tell they're just not, not picking up on it.
Over their head.
Oh yeah, over
yeah.
the head. It's like, let me tell you about X, Y, and Z, and it's like, well, I deal with ABC. What are you talking about, dude?
Exactly.
It is kind of interesting to see that though, and everybody's like, well, that department doesn't do anything until you transfer that department. You're like, I'm busy as hell.
Mm-hmm.
It's like especially going to sometimes, especially if you go trying to covering for other branches or whatnot. He's like, oh hey, just go to the switchboard and catch these confirmations. Like, I don't have time to do confirmations for them, let alone my own.
Yeah, right. Like
Especially
covering
some of the
different.
ones like Florida is a different beast entirely. That's just like constant high volume up the wazoo.
Oh yeah.
They want to come like 5 at a time. You're like, okay. Constant's like, just receive. Okay. It's all unconfirmed. I gotta get confirmations. Like,
It's like, I gotta get this done now. But congrats on the new job, Ben.
Yeah, congratulations. So when do you start?
a week and a half next, the 16th, middle of the month, basically.
So look, you didn't give me a heads up that I'm going to get a new desk mate next door. So God only knows what's coming.
I wonder who they're gonna let train that person, because they let me train the newest person. I never thought that was ever going to happen.
Again, you trained me.
I did train you. Look, they let me train you as a desperation move at that point. They're just
Which
like,
is funny because, essentially, I think I was originally supposed to have Justin's job in the initial part, because I know when Lucas was there and was leaving, I was only supposed to stay there for a couple weeks of training there until they find another admin to fill his position. But we went through 2-3 people just to fill his spot. And then, what was it? Then something I was supposed to I think, because basically her position. But then when she was going to move, she went to a different department, on finance, I think. Of course, I didn't know, because all the previous temp agencies that I've dealt with in the past, were typically, either 30-day or 90-day probation or whatever. And then, then you start a new job. So I was, that was when I was under the impression of. But unfortunately, what I didn't really know, I guess the fine print was the fact that it had to have, I think 600 hours. So even though I started, I started the 4th of July, that Monday. And so I was like, okay, cool, I'll be roughly full-time by September. No, I didn't get full on entirely until the middle of December. I was like, holy crap.
Yeah, I remember that, because I think you and me went through the same temp agency to get this job.
Exactly, yeah.
And fully get hired on. Yeah. I'm going to have to bleep that out now, but... Well, I guess we're going to test how well I can edit. I haven't edited anything yet, so good luck, future Marshal. But yeah, I went through the same issue, and I remember the same thing, thinking, I've been here for almost 6 months now, and now I'm just finally getting hired on. And it's
that's
just
a lot of hours.
It is.
That's a lot of hours.
Other places, probably 3 months, always heard. Not that I ever made it that far, but... Because, things don't work out, or you're not a good fit for the job, or it wasn't a good fit for you. But, it was... I just remember thinking, man, this is rough. I can't wait to get on, benefits and stuff.
Yeah.
I need insurance, please.
Yesterday?
I like the mountain bike, and I could really die. So, if y'all could get me some of those bennies... I don't want to have to pay for Cobra. That's $900 a month at the time.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to beat that
worse
now.
than anything.
It's kind of an insult to even see how much that even costs,
Oh, yeah.
So
But
Andrew brought some snacks. It looks like for everyone. What are you munching on today?
Some crudité.
Crudité.
Celery stick, carrots, and some hummus.
Well, I don't speak Japanese.
What is
I do.
crudité? I've never heard
Yeah,
that
you
before.
do speak Japanese though.
What is crudité?
It's a fancy word for
It looks like
Vegetables and hummus?
it's like snacking, kind of
It looks like hummus to me.
it is hummus.
It is hummus.
This
Hummus.
is hummus with crudité.
Whatever the hell
From our
that
market
crudité
fresh.
is.
Crudité.
From our lovely vending machine downstairs.
Crudité.
Nice.
So there
Crudité.
is vending downstairs?
Yeah, there's vending downstairs.
They hate it. Oh, that wasn't really.
I've got to go check that out because I always looked in that room and I'm like, oh, there's nothing in there. But I thought there was this whole thing about
used to
there
be
was
in there.
a big market down there.
Yeah, it's around the corner now.
But it's in that same room?
No.
No, it's literally right before the room to the right. And it's around the corner.
Oh, that's
So like
where
from
it is.
from the main entrance or from the side entrance, when you just go straight and you normally take a right to go to the elevator, and then the old market was there.
Yeah.
Basically, keep going straight, and there's a little alcove over on the right, and then there's a drink machine and a refrigerator.
Oh, nice. I'm gonna have to check that out. That sounds. I just learned something new. Look at this. All these breakthroughs. We're starting a podcast. We have our first guest, and we're getting jobs.
Oh yeah,
We're doing good on
this
this
has been
show.
a pretty crazy good year for me.
Now, was any of that talk about the vending machine good audio? We don't know. That's up to you, dear listener, because I'm assuming there's only one listener to the show at this point.
Which?
Not even me, not even us. Like, there are 3 of us in this room, and I'm only assuming one person's listening to the show. Like, we've heard it. We're good.
So, out of all the wins we've got going so far, it leads us to our topic of discussion for our first episode is, and this was born out of Marshall's creativity and mine. The question is...
Hold on, I gotta tell them what the segment is, though.
Okay.
This is my new segment, and hopefully a long-running segment, and the best segment on the show so far. Sorry, Andrew.
No problem.
I call it Debate Me, Coward. Now let me explain the rules. I'm going to come up with a topic or a question, or Justin will, and we'll give it to everybody. And then at the end of it, we're all going to vote on who wins. You can't vote for yourself. That's just a gentleman's agreement. Otherwise, we'd all be going in a circle here.
Mm-hmm.
You have about 3 minutes.
Dude around the circle, don't go.
Yeah, we don't need a bunch of dudes in a circle. But okay, so we have about 3 minutes to debate and give our arguments. You can interrupt each other and ask questions, so long as you're not trying to like completely derail the argument. Mm-hmm. Then at the end of it, we'll all vote, and winner takes all is the king. So here was my question. As we all know, the Olympics are going on right now, and they're god-awful to watch. Well, not all of it, but some. So, what Olympic sport are you going to add to the Olympics? You know, any sport you can think of. It's just got to be a sport. And which one are you going to get rid of to make room for this sport? And Andrew, since you're our guest, would you like to go first? Would you like to defer?
I'll probably defer since right at this moment I feel about as unprepared as I was for my interview, so I'll just be sitting here just staring at it.
All right, well, you have enough time while Justin actually takes.
All right, so I'll go first. So I'll start with remove.
Remove.
I'm gonna remove fencing.
Why are we getting rid of fencing?
We're getting rid of fencing because it is an absolute bore to watch. There's no emotional connection to watching fencing because
sword fighting, man.
But they're covered in complete coveralls. You can't see any facial expressions. And let's be honest, the greatest part about watching the Olympics is watching the emotional reaction, right? And building an emotional connection to your country or maybe other countries that you might be interested in and be rooting for. So I just think that fencing, there's just no emotional connection to it. And I mean, it's just a bore to watch. It looks like 2 action figures in a video game fencing. Just sword fighting.
Fencing looks like
and there's no blood, there's no gore, there's just nothing, there's no climax to it all.
So I gotta ask you, do you find sword fights in movies really boring?
No. Because
they don't have a mask.
Because they don't have a mask on.
So what you're saying is remove the mask and fencing is great.
That's a great point. I would say that's probably a good assessment.
I'm going to be honest with you. Fencing without a mask would bring a lot more danger to the sport, though.
Yeah, but that's being fencing what it is. That's what I'm going to remove. What I'm going to bring in I have it down to 2.
Two? Dude, you gotta have one.
Okay.
Eliminate one right now.
All right, so I'm gonna choose one, and then I'll just give my second one as a secondary. Kickball.
Olympic kickball?
Olympic kickball.
That's good.
Olympic.
Oh wait, are we a family-friendly podcast?
Yes.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to learn how to beep so much.
Kickball. Because look, the barrier to entry is incredibly low. Any country can start a kickball team. All you need is a playing field.
Which they already got because baseball's a thing.
Exactly.
It's a good thing you didn't eliminate baseball.
I know. It could be played on the same field.
Same field.
Saves
money.
Same dimensions, same spacing between bases. Same thing from the pitcher's mound. Kickball, I think, is going to be a win. I think many countries can form kickball teams. I think kickball would be amazing to watch.
You think USA would be number one in kickball, or would be a country that loves soccer?
That's a great point. I think I think maybe the practice squads from the soccer teams might be a good place to start a team formation for the kickball league.
We should go to the soccer. But if we just poach a bunch of soccer players and be like, all right, we're going to teach you the American way of playing kickball.
But that's a great point. I think you're right. I think it's a place where all the rejects that tried out for the soccer team can get in line for the kickball team.
You kick ball good, right? And you can run. No, we're gonna kick it, but don't chase it.
That's right. And this time you can actually touch the ball.
Can't you touch the ball already in kickball?
Not in soccer.
Oh, in soccer, right?
Only when you're in the outfield, though, right?
No, anytime, because you can peg them to get them out while they're running.
God, I do love that about kickball is the fact that you can just beam someone with the ball. Like, hey, kid, that's slow. I'm coming for you.
That's right.
Especially if you're up against somebody who not necessarily wronged you, or if you got rejected from a team, or something. It's a healthy way to squash some beef if you got some other person that made it to the team that didn't.
As a kid. Look, as the slow kid, I got hit in the face a lot, and those balls hurt. So
that those are my remove and add.
So we're getting rid of fencing because you don't like the mask.
Because it's just you can't.
Justin, when did this anti-masker position come up for you?
So look, like with something like kickball, right? A lot of, I know I speak very biased from an American standpoint, but I feel like a lot of adults and even children can really connect with that because kickball, like a lot of American kids play kickball, right? So I feel like it's something that you can connect to, right? Fencing, it's like, fencing, you know? Now my secondary selection as an alternate selection for an ad.
That was against the rules, but
hey,
you know what? I'm going to allow it.
Okay, Marshall allows it.
I respect,
this,
I respect the power play here.
This doesn't pull into the voting process. So this is just
this is just another one.
More of a.
You just want to throw this in.
I want to throw it out there.
A little caveat, a little garnish.
Professional poker.
Okay,
poker.
I could kind of see it.
Mm-hmm.
Professional.
I just feel like I would get bored watching it after like 30 minutes, though.
Yeah. You'd have to do something like high stakes or something.
High stakes poker. Like, hey, if you lose, we're taking the pinky.
Yeah, exactly.
God, that would bring a whole dimension to the Olympics.
Yeah.
I don't think they can do that, though.
Yeah, the whole betting thing and mixed with sports, may not be the best.
Hey, you're in Tokyo.
It's in Tokyo.
With the Yakuza.
Yeah, there you go.
You lose card.
Oh my God! Every country send their mafia poker players.
So
the Italian mafia, the Yakuza. It'd be great.
All of the underground communities come out and try out for their country's poker team. And everyone goes by pseudonyms.
A man who did not want to be identified is now in the lead.
And when it's televised, everyone's silhouette is just blurred out, right? So like you can see what's going on, you can see the hands at play, you can see all the bets they're making, but you can't actually see the person.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Anyway, that's what I got.
I feel like that was actually pretty good.
All right.
But Andrew, please tell him why he's wrong. What sport are you? You can start with remove if that makes it easier.
No, are we going by, I guess, Summer Olympics since we're in the season of it instead of just winter? Okay.
It's right now. Winter Olympics is perfect. We don't have to change anything.
Yeah.
They got it right.
It's true.
I'm just trying to think of what we have.
It's okay. I can edit this dead space out.
Yeah.
Or will I? create bad audio on purpose. That's what the podcast is about now.
So, what were the last 3 events that you watched? Actively or passively?
I guess passively would either have been one of the hurdles.
Hurdles would not be a bad thing to get rid of, if I'm being
Yeah.
honest. Not my choice, but
They could be deadly, but
is hurdles your final answer?
yeah, sure, we'll go with hurdles.
All right,
Hurdles,
all
okay,
right.
because they're deadly.
One wrong step, you can lose a leg. Or worse.
See, I like this. You're thinking about everybody's safety.
Exactly.
It's a safety concern to get rid of these hurdles.
I mean, I remember back in high school when we had those silly like fitness test things, and we even had just the tiny little ones. You just jump or like do like some weird where you can pull a hamstring in the middle of the thing and just collapse on your face. I think I did that a couple times.
So listener, by the way, Andrew mentions high school, and just to give you a visual, so for him that was like 25 years ago, high school.
Oh.
However, he looks like he just graduated high school
Almost
last
30.
year. He looks like he just
Andrew,
graduated high school last
Andrew
year.
does look like he found the fountain of youth somewhere. He made it where Ponce de Leon did not.
That's right.
Florida. All right, so
think
I
my
can
dad
I
put
can
that.
kind of get behind getting rid of hurling because I could really care less about hurdles.
Yeah.
I could kind of see it. Be like, who
Either
needs
that or
this?
change the spelling of it to be more, I guess, more actual. It's like hurt bulls.
Hurt. All right, Andrew, but what sport are you gonna add though?
When I guess Justin was talking about kickball, it kind of got me randomly thinking maybe dodgeball.
Oh my God, dodgeball. Dodgeball would be so good in the Olympics. That would get out a lot of aggression.
Oh
between
yes.
countries.
Yeah.
Can you imagine like China
Pakistan,
and U.S.
Afghanistan.
Oh, India versus Pakistan.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, that would be.
So it'll beat politically.
It might even
Take to
start a
the-
couple wars.
Yes.
That's gonna be hard to beat though.
All right. Wow. Dodgeball.
I don't even feel like you have to give an argument. Just saying dodgeball was a good
It's-
argument.
it's self-explanatory,
Just dodgeball.
yeah.
Plus,
It carries enough weight.
Dip, duck, dodge, dive, dodge.
the 5 Ds.
Oh, that's
God, that's
fantastic.
good.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Patches O'Houlihan said it best.
Patches O'Houlihan, an American legend.
All right, Marshall.
Well, I hate to tell you both, but you're both wrong. 100% wrong.
Do
First
tell.
off, we're getting rid of water polo. Who the hell is that sport for? It's people running through water awkwardly. They're throwing the ball. Is it supposed to be hockey? I don't understand it.
And they're treading water.
And they tread the water the whole time. You can't even drown someone.
And really, what does the goalie do? I
The
mean,
goalie seems useless.
he blocks like 1/6 of the space.
I mean, and I will say this: the only other goalie I've ever seen in a different sport. This is a different tangent that has been worse than water polo like goalies is handball goalies. They just stand there, they flail their arms out like a starfish, and they don't even attempt to hit the ball. I don't know what they're doing there. But that's a different point. I love handball. Keeping that in the Olympics.
Okay.
By the way, go watch handball if you haven't already.
Like, what was it? Da Vinci's Open.
Yeah, they're just doing like a jumping jack almost, but they're golf. But it's a fun sport to watch, surprisingly, and I got into it.
It's like
Water
training,
polo
man.
is a snore fest for me, though.
Yeah.
I can't stand it. Please get rid of it. Why did y'all, like, I remember one year they turned off, like, biking or something. Like, it was, like, biking cross or something. And they turned on water polo instead of that. And I'm like, why would I watch water polo over, like, extreme biking?
Yeah.
But anyway, that's not the point. Water polo.
So what are you adding?
What am I adding?
Uh-huh.
Well, both of y'all, I like where you're going in the direction, but you have too many balls.
Yeah.
Too many balls in this area. I went a completely different route.
All right.
I'm going with chess boxing.
Chess boxing.
Now, for those of you who don't know what chess boxing is, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a game where you box and you play chess every other round. So you fight around for 3 minutes, boxing. Once the bell rings, you sit down, pull out a chessboard, and then you play chess for another 4 minutes. And then you go back to boxing immediately over. And this round is not like you're not done. There's no winner until you either knock your opponent out or two, win the game of chess.
Checkmate. Okay. Okay.
Now, if there's a tie,
Uh-huh.
the person with the most points in boxing wins.
Okay.
If there's a draw in points, though, the person who's black on the chessboard wins. So imagine.
Oh my gosh.
Imagine like George Foreman or some of the greats, Muhammad Ali, taking a beating and then sitting down to play chess with each other.
Well, especially Muhammad Ali.
Wow.
I feel like
That is awful.
God, we are canceled on episode 1.
We're going to have to edit that one out.
That is going to be edited. I'm going to have to beat so much of that.
No, I can see, but I mean, I can definitely see.
Good Lord, why did we invite you? It's just speed running getting canceled. It took us 30 minutes to be canceled us.
But I can definitely see how it definitely could be, especially be, because like the physicality of it, like the boxing part, but then actually like your mental acuity, getting potentiality to getting concussed.
Yeah, you got concussed, now you got to play chess.
Well, it's not trying to do your mental faculty, trying to do this. I mean, yeah, it's bad enough. I mean, Justin, I could tell that we were playing, I don't know how long it was before we came around to do it or whatever, but yeah, we just started playing chess against each other,
.com app.
on the app.
And I lose more often than not. And Andrew is actually quite good. And he'll sneak up on you pretty good. You think you've got him in a good pin, and he gets out pretty good. So, but yeah, we're working on our chess game. We're going to take a quick break. One of our sponsors, they don't know it's our sponsor, but the chess.com app, where you play, you get better, and you keep your mind sharp. Chess.com. Download it. It's free.
Chess is not just for smart people anymore.
By the way, we don't have any sponsors, so there's another potential sponsor that we're working on, so we're just going to continue to put them in here and just hope they send us a check so that we can pay some bills. But today's episode at this moment is actually brought to you by Silence. Thanks, Silence, for being one of our partners.
It's golden.
It's golden. Yeah, so my pitch is chess boxing for obvious reasons. But now I feel like we should have to vote. And since I gave everybody 2 questions, technically, I think we should vote separately for what we're removing and what we're adding.
Okay.
So, again, don't vote for yourself. But Justin, since you went first, where are we removing?
So I got to vote for someone else?
Yeah,
right?
You got to vote for someone else's.
I
had water polo. You had hurdles.
Let's see. So I think I'm gonna vote for removing water polo.
Thank you. All right. So Andrew, would you get rid of water polo or fencing?
I think water polo.
Water polo. Well, now I'm going to let y'all know who I was going to vote for. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the hurdles just to spite Justin. You got to have a mask on, Justin.
I get it. It's a safety thing.
Even today.
But, I mean...
Always wear a mask, Justin.
It's a bore. But I respect it.
You picked like one of the
Greater
most
good.
like...
Greater good.
You picked literally sword fighting. You're like, sword fighting's boring. Jeez. What excites you, Justin, if we give them guns? Oh, we should have picked dueling. That would have been a great one.
Oh, man.
All right, so Andrew, you're our guest. So what sport, since we're getting rid of water polo, what are we replacing water polo with?
I definitely got to go with the power chess. It's not power chess.
Chess boxing?
Yeah, because we did power chess in high school or whatever. Basically, we'd play... you play chess or whatever, and you lose a piece and you drink a shot. play chess.
Wow.
We played it was one of the senior year, end of the year graduation parties at one of my friend's house, and his little brother had like a little table and it had like chessboard out, and we just randomly thought it was like, hey, let's make a drinking game out of it. And so we basically set this tiny little table, and basically we're trying to play chess, and a lot of people were just taking shots or whatever. I remember me and my friend, he was sitting there, he was too drunk, and then came over and broke the table, fell on the seat and broke the table.
Drinking chess could have been a good one, actually.
Yeah.
That's really, wow, that's genius.
Call an audible and go power chess.
All right. Then since it's my segment, I'll go ahead and vote next.
Okay.
And I had to choose between kickball and dodgeball. Ooh, I kind of kind of want to give it to dodgeball because that seems so much fun.
Okay.
That would be so aggro. Like kickball is I wanted this to be clear. Kickball is a very close second for me because you can still beam people with a ball. Mm-hmm. Really, any sport you can throw a rubber ball at someone I'm all about, but I gotta give it to dodgeball.
Dodgeball. All right.
So here.
Gosh. So look. So listener, I think it's just important that you're aware that our current count, we have a winner for removing water polo. So water polo got 2 votes, hurdles got 1 vote, and fencing, which was mine, got no votes. Then we have chess boxing, which was Marshall's ad, has 1 vote so far. Andrew's dodgeball has 1 vote, and my kickball has no votes. So listener,
this is a tie-breaking vote. You've been shunned, by the way.
I am the last to vote, and none of my suggestion to remove fencing, nor my addition to add kickball has gotten a vote at all. So I'm not feeling the love today. And I can't even vote for my own because that's against the rules here.
It's against my arbitrary rule.
So because of my enjoyment of the game of chess, I think it actually would be quite funny to see either a UFC type event or even just a straight up boxing event, and then those two that are sparring, both men's and women's, to sit down and play a game of chess. So I'm going to go chess boxing is what I'm going to vote for.
Make a unisex chess boxing.
There we go. So the winner is actually Marshall as a whole. His ideas that he presented
I am the first winner.
Remove water polo and add chess boxing is the winner. Ding, ding, ding.
Hey, future Marshall, add some cheers in there for me. Yay! Give myself a workload. Golf claps. We're very civil on this podcast.
Golf claps.
So anyway, like I said, debate me. You'll lose.
This is a self-fulfilling prophecy and segment.
It's almost like I planned this. I just wanted a segment where I could debate people and win. Oh my god.
Oh man. Well,
I gotta
get back.
You gotta get back to work?
Yeah.
I think we all gotta clock back in and punch the clock. So that's gonna do it for the inaugural episode of Punch the Clock. Thank you so much for being here. I don't know if you can follow or subscribe podcasts. Is that a thing?
We will at some point.
Do it anyway. Just do it anyway. Give us 5 stars or don't give us a star at all. If you give us a 5-star review, I'll read it out on the show. No matter what it is, I'll read it out. No, not really. You give us a 1-star review, I'll read it out. It'll probably be funny.
That would be fun.
But then I'm going to encourage you all to give us 1 star. No, just give us 5 stars. 5 stars. Find us on wherever the hell I posted this. I have no idea yet. And if you want to send in a question about office life that you want us to answer on the show,
we will answer it.
Send it to this email address that I'm going to insert now. So that email address is going to be punchtheclocks, clocks with an S, punchtheclocks@gmail.com. Now back to the show. Hopefully I created that and it wasn't too long of an email. And until next time, we're punching the clock. I've been Marshall.
I'm Justin. And this has been Andrew for joining us today.
Thank you so much for joining us. And that's all. Toodles.
Punch the clock.